a speech. You were about 5 years or so in the Obama administration. Your sense of this particular roasting, did it go too far?
Well, I think if you look at what happened last night, Michelle Wolf's monologue was not designed to win over the room, and a lot of people in the room were upset by it. But you have to put it in context. I mean, this is a president who literally said that he couldn't have sexually assaulted women because they were too ugly. He said this at a campaign rally. And so the fact that Michelle Wolf, made fun of Sarah Sanders and mentioned her eye makeup, to me, I feel like if you work for a president like that, you don't deserve that kind of respect, and Michelle Wolf clearly felt the same way.
And do you think when people from administrations and elected officials come to these events, particularly this one event, the White House Correspondents' Center, they come knowing that they may have a target on them?
Absolutely. I mean, the person who should have been there taking a joke was the President of the United States. And instead, he sent his staff, but he was too chicken to show up. So his staff got made fun of. Now, I think that it is totally understandable that a comedian, particularly a comedian like Michelle Wolf, you can watch her comedy, that she would make fun of the president's staff. So I think the hand-wringing about whether or not it was appropriate to make fun of presidential staffers, that doesn't make sense to me.
Okay. You may not be surprised that there are those who disagree with this assessment. Notably, I know that, Lauren, you're shaking your head right now, so I'm going to go to you. Talk about your interpretation of last night.
I disagree wholeheartedly. For starters, look, yes, it is usual for the president and his staff members to be roasted at dinners like this one. But there's a line. And the comedian's speech last night was entirely beyond the pale. And further, as a woman, there's just one thing that I would like it for everyone to consider is that, female members of the White House Press Association weren't even allowed to attend the dinner until 1962 at the behest of Helen Thomas. So we have a female comedian, we have a female press secretary. These are all, whether you agree with any of them politically, these are all really great strides that women have made. But what did this comedian choose to do? She chose to attack the women in the Trump administration, which, like them or not, they are serving our country and they are breaking barriers for women in government. And it's just, I think it's very upsetting. You saw journalists across the board last night were very offended. I was talking to people last night and this morning. People even like Peter Baker at the New York Times said we didn't do anything to advance the cause of journalism.
Yeah.
And, I just think it was beyond the pale.
Look, and guys, we only have like a minute and a half left, so I'm going to ask for brevity in your responses. But, Ned, what are your thoughts on all this?
Oh, I thought it was mean. I thought it was vicious. I thought it was beneath the dignity of the White House Correspondents' Center. But, Alex, I was there. I was sitting as a guest of the Wall Street Journal, and I thought to myself, it's too bad that we couldn't have one of these every month and televised on national television, because this is why Trump won, and this is why he'll win again in 2020.
But Alex, can I jump in for a second?
Real quick, because we're running out, but yeah.
Yeah, all that I would say is we don't have to agree on what's funny, but I do think that if we're this concerned about bullying Sarah Sanders, we should be concerned about a president who brags about sexually assaulting women. And if you support one and not the other, then I don't think we can take it seriously.
It was venomous.
You make that point. Okay. And who said venomous? Oh, that was you, Ned. Okay,
it
so
was
Morris,
me. It was Ned. It was venomous.
Yeah. And Morris, your thoughts on all this? I mean, did all the reaction fall along partisan lines now?
Of course, everything's about politics right now, and that's what you're hearing on this panel. But from my opinion, that you get what you pay for. You should do more vetting. If you don't like the comedian, walk out the room. If Sarah didn't like it, she should have walked out. But the target should be Donald Trump, not the staff.
Chris, you got to give Sarah credit. She stayed. She took it like a champ.
Yep.
Chris.
Yeah, she did. She took it as a champ. But, I have to tell you, and just hearing these conversations back and forth, there's something wrong in this country. Right, and the president clearly has legitimized a certain degree of division, coarseness, but this is not acceptable. We can be better than these kind of jokes and things like this.
Abigail, last word to you. And can I just add, Abigail, I thought that Sarah Huckabee Sanders looked downright beautiful. I want to give her that.
I think that, as some said, there are criticisms of the remarks made last night that I agree with and understand. But I also think right now, as, the one member of the media on the panel right now, I think a takeaway that we should be having is what conversations are we having right now? And I think Michelle Wolf was a little prescient in her statements about Flint and sort of that today we're spending our time talking about, those comments and her eye makeup. So we might need to switch that around.
Okay. Listen, thank you all so much. I don't even have time to thank you individually, but love you all and appreciate your time with me. Thank you. Well, the National Enquirer story that has Stormy Daniels' attorney tweeting and talking. We have those details at the top of the hour.